okay to watch, but I really didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I know Steve-O has a different thought on it, but
I liked it because it was the same. It was exactly what I expected. Exactly what I expected.
Battleship, man.
The
Battleship.
rest of them, the rest of them, they build a dinosaur. They try to create something. They try to keep it locked and contained. It gets out. Oh, hell breaks loose.
People die.
People
Yeah.
die. Goes back to the thing. It's exactly
Somebody
what I
runs around in
expected.
heels
I didn't
the whole
expect
movie.
anything more than that.
yeah.
So, I liked it.
Yeah.
Expectations, bro. Expectations.
Battleship.
Lockbox.
I'm trying to think.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Avatar was a movie that I had an issue with.
Really?
Wait, The Last Airbender or
No.
we had this last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
James,
this happened last time.
James
Because you guys
Cameron. I mean, that movie just had so much hype on it, and I was thinking it was going to be this like new story, new world, and new IP that I was going to like want to invest in. And when push came to shove, it was like, yeah, okay, we got this like alien world, and you go into this machine to like walk around as this alien, but the story was just it felt like I had
Pocahontas.
watched it a million times, and I was so
Dances
bored.
with Wolves.
Yeah,
Last
Obama
Samurai.
would just-
Yeah, like battle. I don't know. It just didn't inspire me at all, and I just felt bored. And some of the stuff, like we're trying to get unobtainium, and like it just,
Yeah,
it,
the names of that stuff.
yeah, it felt so
Yeah.
like thin. It felt like it had a lot of breadth, right? Because it felt pretty damn big, and there was a lot there, but there was really little depth to a lot of the stuff. So
Yeah.
high level, lots of ideas, lots of different things going on. But when you really like dig into it, it's like that's as far as it goes.
It
And,
looked really great though.
sure, yeah.
Like
yeah.
I like felt like I was transported to that world and was like in there, like in the
Yeah.
middle of the trees or whatever with the actors. Didn't really help that Sam Worthington was the main actor because he's like an awful actor. But
Yeah, they were putting a lot of stock in him, huh? Because like he was in the Terminator, he was in, like they were using him.
and
I thought he was in
now
Terminator
they're doing the
after.
same thing with Jai Courtney, and he's just as bad, if not worse.
Who's Jai Courtney?
He was in the new Terminator. He was
Oh
in.
yeah.
He's in the what's it called? Divergent movies, I think.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. It's like the guy looks the part, and then they're like, all right, whatever, he can't act, he'll be fine, and they like shove him down everybody your throat.
He's like another Australian that's just garbage at acting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that sucks. But the guy who played Zorro, he's an Australian, right? But he's pretty good.
Antonio Banderas.
No,
Yeah, that's what I was
no,
gonna
no, no,
say.
no.
Yeah.
The Zorro
Played Puss in
That's the
reboot.
Boots.
only Zorro I
There's a
know.
Zorro reboot.
Yeah. Oh no, Lone Ranger. Sorry, Lone Ranger.
Oh, I was like, what the hell?
Oh, that guy.
Eh,
Yeah, no.
I hated that movie.
I don't
by the
know.
way.
Archie something.
Yes, yeah. Archie Hammer.
Archie Bunker?
Yeah.
Arnie Hammer.
Archie-
Arnie
Arnie
Hammer.
Hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He was up to play Batman, so I don't.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
He's more of a Clark Kent looking guy, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting. Any other games? Any other movies?
I'm trying to think. I probably can think of a lot of
Yeah,
them.
there's probably lots of
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
So many.
There's so many options.
So many. I can't think of all
Why
the
do you
top of my
think?
head.
Do you think like
The original Hulk movie that they came
Oh.
out with?
The Ang Lee
Oh, it
one.
sucked.
The
With,
most original. That was like 3.5 hours long.
the movie sucked, but did the trailer like?
Oh, the trailer was great. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
Hulk. You were like, this was like start of Marvel, like almost like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that was like I think the very first freaking like comic book movie to come out when I was younger, right? It was like the Hulk.
Spider-Man, I think, might have been before.
Spider-Man.
X-Men.
Spider-Man was before
Or
that?
X-Men. Or X-Men.
Yeah.
I think X-Men
Yeah,
started
one of
it
those.
all.
Oh,
And then
okay.
Sam Raimi
Well,
had his Spider-Man, and
Yeah,
then
but,
Angely
like-
did the Hulk, but yeah.
but that was
The Hulk-
that was horrible. I like the actor though. He's a good actor.
Bruce, what's his name? No,
Bruce
not Bruce.
Banner.
Banner.
His name is the same name,
Yes.
first name,
Yeah.
last name of the character.
It's
he played.
actually the Hulk.
Yeah,
No
like
way, really?
No, what's
yeah,
his
it
name?
is. It's so weird. It was like I was like, that's a
You know what I'm
fucking
talking about.
coincidence.
He plays
He's in Star Trek and like Troy and
Yeah, it's
Eric
Bruce-
Bana. Eric Bana.
Shit,
Something like-
you're right. It's not Bruce Banner. What the fuck's wrong with me?
I was
Yeah,
about to
that's
say, yeah,
the
that's
name of.
insane.
It is.
I thought you were trolling me.
Nope. I legitimately thought for these years up until now.
Eric Bana.
Yeah, Eric Banner.
Banner.
He played it, dude. You do not know it's him in Star Trek.
I hated that.
What?
Wait,
Nero?
Yeah,
He was-
I
Hi,
did not
I'm
like him as a
Nero.
bad guy.
Aw. I like
as
that.
Nero. Yeah.
I like that.
Spock.
Oh yeah, Hero. That's right.
Spock, rah.
The way he like talks is.
Fire everything! Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I liked
He's like
it.
spitting, and it was just like, whoa, man! Like I can't
was a
fire
good
anything. I
movie,
can't
though.
see now. You know,
Yeah.
he spits on my face. So.
yeah, it's acid.
Calm
Oh my
down.
god, is that acid?
That's really funny.
Spock.
He ate him, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
In terms of games, I don't.
There's a lot of games that disappointed me.
I don't know.
Well-
I've always been so cautious when buying. I can't remember the last time I just
But maybe back
purposely
like, I don't
just
know,
bought one.
like college or something, or
Yeah. Oh,
It's segue.
Perfect Dark Zero. I was so excited for that game in college. Remember that, Alan? When 360
Yeah.
first came out, and then we
Yeah.
played that butt turd, and it was just terrible. It was
Oh, yeah.
terrible.
Oh, I know one. Fable.
Which
Uh-huh.
one?
Fable.
The first one?
The very first one.
Wow.
Promised
Oh.
like this insane,
yeah,
like
yeah.
open world where you could do like almost anything you wanted, and there would be like consequences for your actions. But then it was super stripped down to like very gamey like elements, and not at all like
Peter
open
Molyneux,
world
man.
as you felt. And I remember when I got that game, I was so excited to open it that I literally like ripped the cover off trying to open up the game, so it was just like a green box with like the
That's so
Xbox
good.
disc inside. Yeah, and that was in college too when it came out.
Yeah.
And Jason was like, "Whoa, like you just ripped everything apart." I was like, "Yeah, let's play."
Dude,
So like
Fi-
not Jason move, which is funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He takes his
Final
time,
Fantasy
meticulous.
12.
Well, that was a pretty fail one.
That
Oh.
was was it 12 or was it? It was like the most recent one,
Oh, 13.
13 or something. I don't know. It was like a pink cover or something. I'm trying to look it up real quick. But I remember I bought that game, came
For
home,
the
played
cover?
it for a couple hours. Yeah, no, played it for a couple hours and then returned it. Took
Wow.
the hit. I took the whatever hit. It was like I got like $30 back or something, and it was 60.
Really? They
Yeah.
even after only playing it for a couple hours, they wouldn't take it
Yeah.
back full price.
No, why would they?
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
I don't
horrible.
know. It's like.
But no,
less
that
than-
game was fucking. Sorry,
Less than
it was
24
Well,
retarded.
so
I think it was.
we could segue into a topic with this. Is what is the worst game that you ever bought, like that you regret?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So Ian's topic.
It was 13, by the way.
Worst.
What
game
is
Yeah.
worst game? Okay.
Well, like I mean,
that we
think about
bought? Just worst game that we ever played, or worst game that we bought?
worst game that you regret buying.
Yeah. I see.
Okay.
I'm having trouble. Like, when I was a kid, I had a friend who was like 3 or 4 years older than me, and he was like super into video games and video game reviews and all this stuff. So I always had this like bug in my ear about what to buy and what not to buy. And because of that, I rarely found myself in a situation, and I'm not trying to like gloat here, but I really did like rarely find myself in a situation where I had actually purchased a bad game. And even then, like, I had Blockbuster and stuff. So games that I was even on the fence about, I would rent first before
Right.
I would go and buy. So Perfect Dark was an example of a game that I bought that I really regret. But, like, they're few and far between when it comes to that. And so
There
let me
was a
think
game.
about this for a minute. But I'm sure there's got to be some. But I just don't.
Yeah. Well, I know one recently that I got a few months ago was Evolve. Have you guys heard of that one yet? It's pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good game, like a good concept, but it,
Had
like,
a lot of
literally-
hype.
Yeah, and it had a huge hype. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And then, like after 3 games, I'm like, "This sucks. Why did I
Yeah.
buy this? Why did I spend my money on this?"
Yeah.
I was
So-
really hyped for that game too. Yeah.
Did you play it?
I played it. It had a free week on Steam.
Uh-huh.
I tried it out, and first it could barely run on my computer, and second, like the gameplay was just okay.
Yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular. So that was one. No, and I keep trying to remember this game, and maybe you guys can help me with this. It was I don't know if you guys had PS. I think it was PlayStation 2. It was a vampire
Bless you.
game.
Thank you.
It was a vampire game. It's like something 9, and it was a great game. But literally, it was like 2 hours long, and you were done. The game was over. It's like, what the fuck? Did I really just spend my money on like a 2-hour game? And it had great graphics back then, but the game was super short.
Yeah.
I just gotta think of the name. So, what are some games that you guys got that you really regret?
Okay, so I did. it was really like not a lot of money because at the time, like they're old. But the two games that I bought, I think, were Borderlands and
I was gonna say Borderlands, yeah.
Borderlands and Dishonored. Borderlands
Dishonored
was
Really?
yeah. So okay, so Borderlands it was not fun for me because I didn't play with friends. It's
Yeah.
pretty grueling after going through WoW so many times, like
Right.
any MMO progression, and then playing by yourself in Borderlands. I was like, dude, I have played this game. Yeah, okay, it's a first-person shooter, but I've played this so much, and
Yeah.
it's really made to be played with friends. And I didn't have anybody playing with me at the time, and I've
Aw,
tried picking
no
this game
friends.
up
And you
just
don't
so
have
many
friends.
times, and I dropped it. And then Dishonored, I don't get this game's hype. I've played this game and like
Oh.
I just don't. I don't think it's that good of a stealth game. I don't think
No.
the level design is that interesting. I don't think the progression design is that interesting to me. There's some choices that you ultimately have to make, and then anything else that like pertains to agency in terms of like what powers I want to pick are irrelevant in my opinion. There's like two that you absolutely need, and then everything else is just like fodder. It doesn't matter. And I don't care about the story. I don't really care about the world. It's this generic steampunk thing. Like I could not get into it. It felt like they were trying to make a what is it? A
Thief?
BioShock like game, and it honestly felt like a poor man's BioShock. That's terrible to say because I'm sure they worked really hard on it, but I could not get into it personally.
I played Dishonored. I thought it was okay. It was entertaining, but it had so much hype. I was like, man, this is going to be great. I thought it was going to be like a next-gen Thief,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. I thought it was you said BioShock. I thought it was like a poor man's Thief, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, what did you think about the new Thief game?
I played
I
that
haven't
recently.
played it. I didn't play it.
Boring. I just couldn't like.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
because both of those, I think Dishonored and the new Thief are like the BioShock derivative style games, whereas
Yes.
the original Thieves are like hardcore stealth games.
Right.
Oh, yeah, insane.
Like you can't get away with just like fighting guards whenever you want, which is
You die.
because I had Dishonored also, and like I tried to play it like a stealth game,
You
but
can't.
it was way more fun to play it as like a game where you like just killed all the guards around you because they made it so easy and like accessible to kill everybody with no consequence.
So let's talk about that for a second because it markets itself as a stealth game, but in
Right.
reality, when you
Well, you
get
can play
caught,
it. You can play it as a stealth game.
but it's so like against the to play. It's like might as well be like fucking very difficult mode because as
Yeah,
soon as you're
the
found,
shitty part, yeah, is you don't get to use half the skills that you can unlock in the game because they're not useful for stealth; they're for combat.
Right. So
Right.
that's a problem. Then there's the fact that once you get found you can't go back. You can't re-stealth.
Right.
You just can't. And then the third thing is that like there's a horrible morale mechanic that you get a better ending or something. And,
Yeah.
and it's easier to play if you don't kill people. But if you kill people, which is the easier thing to do, you get more rats around and it gets really harder and you don't get to get it. Like so many systems are fighting each other in that game
Yeah.
that it just like it irritated me. And some of the level design, like it was just like like you have to like climb up and then you're like facing the wall and then you gotta like turn around. Like I didn't know where I was half the time, and you can't really stealth. Like don't call it a stealth. Don't put a stealth. It felt like they just kind of tacked on the stealth mechanic afterwards instead of building the game around stealth first. So yeah, it was really frustrating to play.
It was way more fun to play as combat, as far as I could tell.
That's what I did, yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell are you eating, Steven?
Oreos.
Yeah. So Dishonored
Frosted
was one.
Flakes.
Borderlands.
Bare
You know,
naked.
I think I bought Mass Effect, and I'm pretty sure I bought that game, and I was really
Yeah.
disappointed in it.
Yeah, Mass Effect I wasn't a big fan of. And
Pretty
then,
sure- yeah.
I just wish I could remember that game from PlayStation 2. Like, it's starting to aggravate me. I can't think it was 2 or 3. I think it was something 9, and it was like you're a vampire and you're fighting stuff, and it was like a hack and slash. But you know, when I sat there and I remember sitting there. I'm like, oh, I'm fighting a boss.
Devil
And
May
like,
Cry.
Devil May Cry. Yes, that's what it was. And I
The
sat there.
reboot.
And I was sitting there fighting a boss, and then boom, like the credits started going. I was like, seriously, like. I wanted to just throw the game. I just wanted to throw it out the window. Like, this is fucking bullshit.
I had a game that I didn't like at first, but then I played it in a different way, and I loved it afterwards. And I don't know if you guys ever played it, but Infamous.
Oh yeah, Infamous. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I played as the hero at first, and I was like, "This sucks," and then I just went completely dark side,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was fucking awesome. I love
Those
that game
abilities
afterwards.
looked way more cool. Yeah, Pete had
They-
that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't like the whole like hero aspect of it, and then I completely changed, and it was so much more fun.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, mine is Dragon Age 2.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, that was
Oh, that-
horrible.
Yes, the second
a-
one.
I was so excited about that game too.
Because I loved the first one. Like,
Yes.
first
Oh.
one is in one of my top 10 games of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
it's
the
Dragon
second
Age
one-
Inquisitor?
Which one? Sorry?
Inquisitor? Is that the most recent one, right? Dragon
Inquisition is the newest one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Dragon Age.
I like the new one, even though I haven't played it. I like got it's a different story, but
I have
the
it.
second one is literally. I mean, it's barely even in the same universe as the original. The gameplay is completely different. It's more like an action RPG than like a tactical like party RPG like Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights or anything.
And it was so linear.
And it was super linear, and
Yeah.
also they reuse like the same like 4 sets the entire game. Like
Yeah.
it's you're in this shitty looking like brown gray city. You go under dungeons, and then the dungeons are like just rehashed with new monsters every single time you go into one, and then you come back into the
Exactly.
same gray city, and then that's the only area you fight it, like play the entire game in. There's nothing different about it.
Yeah, it aggravated me too. I didn't even think about that. I remember that.
Yeah, it was just like the gameplay was just not at all. Like, I just expected more of the first game, and they just tried to completely change it to make it more accessible. And I think also to make it easier for console gamers, because on the console, I remember Jason had a really hard time playing the first one, when he played it for Xbox 360 or something. And then this one was definitely like, even on computer, I just pushed like, mouse button 1 and you attack, and it does like a combo and like you kill something, and that was
Yeah.
it. So I was really disappointed with that game.
Hmm.
Which I'm glad Dragon Age Inquisition is basically just like the first one, but bigger.
Yeah, that was
I
a
didn't-
good game.
Honestly, I didn't like it that much because I thought it was a little slow.
Yeah,
Like the
well,
characters seem so freaking slow, and it's like, ruh,
Get a horse.
Play Witcher 3.
ruh. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. Like I guess I got used to like just WoW, like in that kind of aspect where like you're hitting a little faster and you're.
Well, yeah, it's essentially just using like a D&D system. Like it rolls, internally if you're going to hit or not. So it can't really be, even if it was faster, it wouldn't do much in terms of like.
Well, I heard if you play it a little bit more, you basically hit faster because you put
get-
more in its abilities. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you get speed. Yeah.
My problem with that one was the very first. I was still in like basically like the first main zone or whatever of the game. Is they had a jillion side quests that you could do in it,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
started. I like have a completionist like desire, so I just started doing all
Yeah.
those, and I just burnt out after playing for a week. And I only did like that first area, and I haven't even
That's-
cleared everything.
Wow.
That's exactly what I did, man. Like,
Yeah.
because I have to finish everything.
Yeah,
That's
I was
why
like,
Assassin's Creed's always like take me forever because I
Yeah, but
I,
that's
I
what-
do all this.
I've heard people say you don't need to do all that stuff. Like it's really
No.
not necessary at
Yeah,
all. To
but
do
I
all.
do it.
But I
though,
wanted to.
it's-
Yeah, I was just like, well, I'm gonna miss
I
out on
just got
XP.
burned
Like,
out.
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
I
Yeah.
just got burned out.
So yeah, I want to pick it up again because I heard it's like pretty decent.
Yeah, I have it right here. I just haven't played it.
Another game that I regret buying was the latest Final Fantasy that came out. They're like going, I don't know. It's like you're these 3 girl characters, and it was a terrible gameplay. I played it
X2?
for 2
Final Fantasy X2.
I think that's what it is. I'm not sure, but it was just
All
terrible.
cast.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was the one before that. And I forgot the name of it. I want to say. But so when you're playing it, you're these 3 characters, these 3 girls, and it sucked. And actually, I have been a long-time Final Fantasy fan, and I actually don't plan on ever buying another one at this point.
Wow.
The next one doesn't look that good, honestly.
Yeah, they're failing. I mean, like in Square Enix, I always thought they did great, on games and everything, but I'm starting to become less and less of a fan. But granted, maybe I'm not the audience they're going for. Maybe they're going for more of that younger girl audience, because that's what I think that they're trying to reach for. That's what the kind of gameplay it just felt like they were reaching for. So
Was there a lot of Channing Tatum's skating on visible
Yeah.
skates?
yeah,
That game.
I will say, oh man, I think another one was Halo 3. I bought
Really?
that game and I felt pretty like meh.
I
about
regret no Halo purchases.
It. Says the guy with the PS4 console.
Well, okay. Fair enough. What was the last Halo for Xbox 360?
Reach?
No, there's one after Reach, I think. 5? Halo 5?
That was for One, Xbox One. No.
Really?
Maybe you're right. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, Halo 5 I never finished.
Yeah.
I just got so frustrated by towards the end of that game. I was just like, wow, this is just a grind to get to like the next story point, and I hate it. And I never played it again.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Oh, FIFA, the newest FIFA, not the newest FIFA, but last year's FIFA I bought, and I've played it maybe a total of like 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's $60 game right there. Like, it was-
Down the drain.
There's a lot of there's a lot of games
That's
that we
really
end up
bad, actually.
thinking whether it's through an awesome trailer or whether it's through like just some word of mouth of some people, or just past experiences. You've played
Yeah.
FIFA in the past and you're like, this is my game. I'm gonna pick it up, and it doesn't work.
Yep.
Halo, same thing. But
You paid $15 an hour for that.
For what?
World of Warcraft?
No, for FIFA.
What? No,
60
yeah.
bucks for 4 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably more than that up here. It's probably like $69, $70 here.
Oh shit.
Hey.
Huh?
Huh?
Eh? Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
All right, let's go on to our next topic. Steve,
Yes. What was my topic?
what is
Yes.
your topic?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ian, what
anyways.
song were you singing?
Okay.
I was like
I wanted
in
to
the middle of the song.
I wanted to start this off. Like, I know you guys loved it. Did you guys hate it? Was there certain things you guys wanted to change? I just wanted to throw this in there. I love the movie, but I can't help but feel like it was episode 4. That's probably why I loved it so much, because it was like the same exact movie as episode 4.
That's what a lot of people are saying as well. Like when
It-
you read
it-
the reviews, there's the biggest criticism to Star Wars: Force Awakens is that it takes a ton from A New Hope and Empire.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same exact movie, but I still loved it. I'm not gonna like downgrade it at all or anything. But
What do you
Um,
give it out of 7.5?
7.5,
Yeah,
7.5.
you give it a 7.5 out of 7.5.
Yeah.
7.4.
Yeah, 5 out of 7 for sure.
Yeah, 5 out of 7.
It was
No,
a good movie. But how does someone, that is supposed to be so great and have this epic power, get hit by a lightsaber by someone that just picked it up? Like, that was my one
He got
I was-
shot. He got shot by Chewie's fucking bowcaster thing
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
And-
gut.
in the gut, and not only like for the last the previous 45 minutes of that movie, they just show people getting shot by that thing and like go fucking flying.
Yeah.
So it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the fact that he just took it like a champ and was just like,
And
just
still
had to drop
fighting?
to a knee and still fought was like
Yeah.
pretty impressive
Th-
actually.
I disagree, and I think they made a pretty good, like, the reason why he was able to be, like, and Finn didn't last long either. He was taken out really quick.
Yeah.
And so, but he did his damage, like, he got him cut a little bit, right? And so, like, it made sense that when Rey came up to Ren, they actually were almost on even ground.
And not only that, but Finn is like a stormtrooper since birth, or not birth, but like whenever they got
Combat
him, like
specialist.
a child. And so
Well,
he's
that-
been fighting like.
yeah, but he hasn't had a lightsaber.
Lightsaber.
Yeah,
Not only
lightsaber's
that,
just
but he's
a
trying to get
sword.
someone with
But
the
if
Force.
if
so-
they have that guy that has the baton thing, that he fights earlier, the other stormtrooper,
Yeah,
that has a baton that's made to withstand lightsaber stuff. They must have trained them to fight people like in that kind
Yeah,
of
that's
combat,
Yeah. There's vibro
Well-
blades, which is a type of material that.
but not in the movies, right?
Well, yeah, it's a good call. I don't know if that's expanded universe or not. What is that?
It's a list of questions that I have. So many fucking questions.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Start with your questions.
Jeez.
All right. There might be spoilers, but I don't know if you guys don't care about it. You guys
no,
probably
we
already
were-
know.
This is not going to be out till February.
All right.
I think 2 months is enough.
I don't care. But
Yeah.
who is Rey? Daisy Ridley. I mean, is that supposed to be like Luke's daughter?
No,
We don't know.
That's a
Obi-Wan's
rumor.
I think it's going to be Obi-Wan's.
That's the other rumor.
Like,
I hope
Obi-Wan's
she's
daughter?
related. I hope she's
Granddaughter.
related to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That
Other
was
than
well.
Luke.
That was the other thing too. Like we were talking, me and Amber were talking about something, but she said something like maybe it's like Leia's daughter or something or whatever. I don't know,
That's
not
a lot.
Leia's daughter, but
Far shot. Yeah.
someone
I
else's daughter. But anyways, I was like, also that was my other question was how far into the future is this movie?
30 years.
So
30
it's
years.
30 years. Okay. So like I'm starting to think even if it's Obi-Wan's daughter, that would still
it's
be
granddaughter.
too old.
Yeah,
Oh, granddaughter. Okay,
Granddaughter
so
is what I'm
daughter.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
thinking
gotcha.
granddaughter.
So
And-
for me, like, so the expanded universe, Rey's character was actually the sister of Kylo Ren. Now they could go that way, which would describe why Han Solo kind of took to her so quickly, and why Leia has this like look to her. Like I don't know, but that I almost don't want to happen. That feels a little too.
It's
weird.
already happened, yeah, and I think that's already
Yeah.
happened with the whole, Luke and everything. So
Exactly. Now, they
Like-
could be Luke's daughter, but that also feels a little bit too obvious, and I don't want.
Like, yeah, why is everybody that's a Force user in this fucking universe like related to the same goddamn
Exactly.
family?
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
And so, why even like Obi-Wan, which is the best of the three, there, I actually would prefer she's just a nobody. Like we,
Yeah,
like her.
that would be the coolest if she was a nobody.
Yeah.
She even says that. That's kind of funny in the trailer.
Well, that-
Remember, she's like, "Who are you? I'm nobody" or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's how what's it called? Anakin was he was just birthed out of
No, I don't
like,
mean it
had
like
no
that.
father.
I don't
Oh,
mean it
okay.
like that. I just mean that like she's just her family is this other like it feels like the only families in this giant fucking universe are the Solos and the Skywalkers and the Obi-Wans. Like there should be
Well,
some new blood, and
I don't-
because it makes sense. Like it's
I don't
too
think it's
small.
gonna go that way though because like they showed too much emphasis on the movie, like her getting dropped off, and it seems kind of like Kylo Ren or whatever knows her. Like
Knows
he's
her,
saying,
for sure.
I like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
there's almost like this kind of rival. And the other thing too, I was wondering is like. Does it come that natural, like the Force? Like she has no training whatsoever. And
Well,
she's
you
like,
don't know
Yeah.
that she doesn't have any training. We have not seen 2 more movies in this series. Like we
Yeah.
might be
So
looking
she-
back at episode 7 and be like, "Oh, it all makes sense now."
So
Like,
she's
Yeah,
like
that's
playing
true.
it off then. So is that what you're saying?
No.
She's like playing it off. Like
she is probably okay. Here's my theory.
doesn't remember the training. or
She
something?
probably took training with Luke. She's
Yeah, that's what
probably
I'm
done that
thinking.
training.
Yeah.
Okay. Then for whatever reason she was dropped off on this planet. Maybe had like her memory wiped or something like with the Force, so she
Oh,
doesn't
that's
remember that.
Okay,
okay.
that's a good. Yeah.
And then I told Clay this the other night, and this is a theory that Yukiko told me, and this is probably far fetched, but what if Rey is the one who killed all of the Jedi that Luke was training, and she did it either with Kylo Ren, or he's covering for her. So he took like all the the bad title because he like was like her friend or something, and then she had her memory wiped, and then it'll be revealed later that she was actually like the one that killed everybody, and that's why they had to like remove her memories.
She was like a 7-year-old girl though.
But so would Kylo Ren probably would have been too. But that's like when they start training as
No. If you
Jedi.
look when he killed them, he looked like he was in his
He was
late
older.
teens because he was as
Yeah.
tall as everybody else with a lightsaber, as tall as Luke. Remember
Right,
the
but-
flashback?
they look like they're about the same age is what I keep getting from the look in the movies.
Same here, and I actually think that's deceiving because I actually think he's much older than her.
You think so?
Yeah,
Mm.
but which is a problem in my opinion because they do look the same age,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and maybe they are, and maybe you're right. Maybe
'Cause I feel
she's-
like she's still in her 20s, like or whatever now, and he's like in his.
I think she's almost supposed to be like when you Game of Thrones, Daenerys looks like she's like 25, but she's actually supposed to be playing a 16-year-old girl.
Oh, I think in the show they never specify how old she is.
But
right?
in the book,
Yeah, and
well, in the book, but I think that's the thing. I think they had to make everybody older
Mm,
for that reason
yeah, okay.
because they couldn't have like 12-year-olds like fucking in the castle or whatever, you know.
yeah, that
So
would be a little
then
interesting.
what if Rey was dropped before that happened? I mean, okay, so maybe
That's
they are
possible
the same
too,
age,
yeah.
in which case she was dropped before that would happen. You know what I mean? There's something weird. I think there's just a little hole in that theory in that like she'd have to be really young to assist before being dropped off and mind wiped or taken. And I don't know. There's some.
Well,
Yeah.
what if she's that strong though? What if she is that strong that even as a child she was like,
Right.
know.
That's the thing. That's what I was thinking is because Ryan Johnson is the guy that did Looper is doing the next one.
Time
Yeah.
And that
hopping.
was kind of the theme in Looper, was this little kid that was like crazy powerful and like could
yeah.
kill people all the time.
Yep.
So like maybe that's why they got him, is because they wanted to go along that storyline again.
Damn.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that'd be
think about that.
interesting.
Well, I was
She's
also
just like
gonna-
force like crushing everybody around her or something, you know?
I was also going to ask too, what's the difference between a stormtrooper and an imperial trooper? Like, I thought all stormtroopers were clones,
No,
and then these
yeah.
people are like they look different. That's what I'm saying. Like, and like they're genetically enhanced. I don't.
So they
yeah.
mentioned this in the movie. Kylo Ren is pissed off at the fact that Finn defected and all this other stuff, and he's like,
Yeah.
you know, if you used the clone troopers, we wouldn't have this problem. And he's like,
Yeah.
and then the general responds
Yeah.
snarkily like, I handpick all of them from birth, and they're
Yeah.
brainwashed and trained. He has a different I believe there's still a clone.
There's probably both.
but yeah,
there's
exactly.
still clone troopers out
Oh, so
there.
there are clone troopers.
I think
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
Well,
That's what it means.
Because like I was getting like the kind of like idea that there was still like the stormtroopers, but they were like on something else, and like they didn't have the imperial. Like you know how like there was the empire. I guess
No, I
you know,
think-
this is like different imperial. Like because they even kind of look different, the suits. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I think
So,
they
like-
might have just done that to be like more updated. I mean, 30 years have passed. Maybe the suits have been improved
Gotcha.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that there's still like you can still get like a clone army if you want to buy one. It's still like a purchasable like commodity basically.
So like I was just getting the fact because I haven't seen any of the other ones. Like all the other troopers don't look like Finn.
Probably not. No.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's what I was.
We
That's
don't
what I was
even
trying
we
to
don't
get
even
at.
know if all of them are human actually.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, that's a great point. And Captain
That's true.
Phasm is a girl. Like, there's no
Yeah.
there's no cover up there, right? Like, so females are now in like that. So she's gonna look unique. She'll look like Bryn of Tarth, right? Like if they ever take that helmet off, which I doubt they will, but yeah,
I think they will.
yeah. I mean, they could. But yeah, I think that sect, that general, I forget his name, but
General Hux.
Hux. Yeah, Hux's crew is all taken from birth.
And also, any of you guys seen that coming? Because I seen that coming
What?
about
What?
Han Solo dying.
You mean Han Solo?
It's Han Solo,
Han Solo. Sorry.
not Hand.
And-
I actually had it spoiled for me
Oh, you
3
did.
days before
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
movie came out.
Yeah,
Damn.
I knew he was gonna die.
When he
Well,
When he
I'm
walked
not
down on the bridge,
saying-
I'm like, he's gonna get thrown off. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
I
wasn't like too sad, but it sucked like the whole movie. I was waiting. I was like, okay, like I know he's gonna be killed, and I already know it's his son, and like I knew both of those things going into the movie, that it was his son that was gonna kill him. That was that was the spoiler I saw. Was basically an image of the lightsaber sticking through Han, and it said, Han Solo is killed by his son. It was like on
Oh,
Facebook, and I was just
man.
like, holy shit. So
That
I
was
came
on
home that day, and
Facebook?
I was like, yeah, I was like, Yukiko, like I think I just had Star Wars spoiled for me. And it was like a Tuesday or something before it came out, so like a few days before the actual movie came
Oh,
out.
serious.
What a dick.
And I was just
that,
like,
that
yeah,
person's a dick.
yeah, that person is a dick. So I unfriended him and everything. But like, I was just like, I think it had it ruined. And then when they revealed that it was his son in the movie, I was like, yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. Then like, I was hoping it was just like some fan made, doctored up photo or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, shit.
I
That's another
went
point-
through
yeah,
all
go.
5 stages of grief within that couple of seconds. Like
Really?
I felt
Yeah, Yukiko did too. Yeah.
right? Like I felt he was gonna kill him. And I was like, no. I was in denial. I was like,
Yeah, they
he's
can't.
gonna be redeemed. This is amazing. We're gonna see a redemption story with a Sith. We've never seen that before. It's gonna be so cool. And then I was like, and then
Yeah.
he did it. And I was like, yeah, fuck, why would you do that? I got angered. And then I was like,
Yeah,
started-
I was like, if the movie ended right there, I'd have been like, it would have been like fine. Like it was almost kind of hard to enjoy the rest of the movie
Yeah.
after that. 'Cause I was like, I was still in shock. Like, how can the fucking one of the main characters get killed? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I was just
Well, they're getting
so,
old, so they have to get
Yeah.
rid of them.
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta kill
Yeah,
him
well,
off.
they should have got rid of Leia, not fucking Han. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, just get rid of Leia.
Also, her
I can deal
role in
with
the
that,
movie
Leia.
was poop. I didn't really. She was just awkwardly used. I think.
Well, I
Yeah, I agree.
liked back to the when Han gets killed. I really liked the lighting they did for that. Like
Oh my
when
God.
it's like split like white or grayish, and then like red on one side, and then like the sun dies out, and then he like decides he's gonna kill him, and like it's just red on his face, and then like he's done. Like the evil is like in him or whatever, and he just like
Yeah.
turns the lights on. That was really cool.
The
I mean,
was-
it's like kind of heavy-handed, but it was like effective.
Yes. That's a really great way to describe that. Because I did feel it was heavy-handed, but like it
I think the
worked so
whole movie
well.
in general, that was my biggest issue, is it was a little heavy-handed with a lot of stuff, like the nostalgia, like the throwbacks to the originals. Like I totally could have got on board with it being a recap or reboot of Episode 4, like A New Hope, if only they didn't do a Death Star again. Because like if the whole point if the whole point could be like the stakes aren't like that important, it could have been a battle, you know, just to have like these kind of characters fighting and everything. Like, why did they have to do a Death Star? Why couldn't they just do like a new, like inventive, like fight on a planet or whatever, like in a jungle?
But it was bigger.
Like, small, you know.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
just
thing.
said, "Oh,
like
it's
even in the
bigger."
movie, they're like making fun of the fact that it's like another Death Star. So it's just
Yeah,
like,
it
what
is.
are you
There's always some way to beat these
It was a
things, right?
pretty, yeah, exactly. It was a pretty badass Death Star, though.
It looks
Doesn't
cool when it was like
justify
badass,
it,
like
though.
weapon, but it's just like if the whole means was just to have like an area to fight for these people and like have, you know, a space battle and also a ground battle, like why do it have to do it on a Death Star, especially when there was like 8 X-wings like total or something, you know, like to destroy the whole planet. Like they could have just made it a way more intimate, smaller scale battle.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been a little cooler.
All right.
Agreed.
I know we're going to keep talking about this too, but I also had another two. I really like that new guy who's a pilot.
Poe.
Who's a pilot?
Oh yeah, he's
Poe.
awesome.
Not like him.
Dude,
I did not like him.
You didn't
I
like
like-
Poe?
I liked the fact that, you know, he wasn't like, he's not like you know,
He's the new
a
Han Solo.
Jedi. He's not like really a
the new Han.
Jedi, but like, he's
To
like,
your knowledge, he's not a Jedi.
that's true.
Yeah.
Wait, so he is a Jedi then?
Two more movies, man. We don't know.
There
You're
is
right.
there
Okay, I was
is
gonna
a
say-
rumor that Poe and Rey are brother and sister.
Of course.
Fucking
they're
A.
not.
What is with this goddamn?
Well, I'm just saying because he
Family
was,
matters.
Because the
He was
idea,
awesome.
if you
Like-
remember when Rey is describing who dropped her off, the person has orange, and if you look at in her hut, she has a little X-wing pilot figure, like on her little like thing.
Orange?
Easter
Wait, what?
egg.
Yeah. So you know the X-wing suits that are orange jumpsuits with the.
Yeah.
If you look when she's like lifted, you see like the person's like orange flare.
Huh. So
Oh, I thought it was just shows. It shows Ankar Plutt holding her, and then there's just a spaceship flying off in the distance.
I'm pretty sure the hand she's holding, you see a bit of orange.
That's the guy that gives her like the rations.
yeah.
Well,
So
I think
Finn could be possibly a Jedi then too.
Yeah, that's actually I want to ask you guys that if you
Yeah.
guys
Because,
think
like,
it's a Jedi.
I was
Yeah,
like
so.
listening to that part in the story when he was like I wanted our son to train with Luke along with the other kids or something like that. So there was like a number of other kids or something, right?
yeah.
real quick before we go on there though, hold on. Why did you like Poe and why didn't you like Poe?
Oh,
ahead.
I didn't like Poe because first of all he was in the movie for like almost no time. Yeah, we were
that's
supposed to give a shit about him.
Yeah.
Like he was in the very beginning, and then he all of a sudden is at the very end of the movie and is like, and then the other thing that really bothered me. This is weird, but he's like way too like good, like a good, like friendly, like chipper dude.
Yeah.
Like when he first
He has no flaws, right?
When Finn like comes up to him and is like, "I'm gonna break you out," they like instantly trust each other, which is weird
That's
because you're in a
fun.
fucking Death Star or whatever, or like Star Destroyer. That's odd. And then they're like flying off, and he's like, "Oh, FN 218, that's not good. I'm gonna call you Finn instead." And he's like, "Yeah, I like that. That's great." And then they're like, "Yeah, like, boo," you know, like it's just like I was like, why are they such good friends? Like they've been friends their entire life. They've known each other for like 20 seconds, you know?
Do you think
Well,
that happens
I
in war? Do you think like when you like
I don't know.
you
I
go-
just think again, it was just laid on a little thick. Like
Well,
there's not enough subtlety in the new movie.
Mhm.
And I think that's because like nowadays everybody like expects Avengers style movies where there's like fucking 5 minutes of exposition to explain like why this thing is happening now, and there's not a lot of show don't tell because they have to tell you everything.
Yeah,
well,
the
I liked
nostalgia. Actually, Marvel does nostalgia really well, in that a lot of it's subtle, and there's things that like if you're a hardcore fan, you'll catch.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think with the new Star Wars, like you said, it is heavy-handed and beaten over your head as if you like never knew this thing like you never watched the original or whatever. It's just like
Right.
God.
Like, oh, Leia, our son got turned to the dark side and killed all those guys. Like,
Yeah.
why was that so? Why did he turn so bad? Like, his name was Ben. Like, we get
Yeah.
it. Okay, well, we get it, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't have to tell us.
I want to get to that part too, but like no, I liked the whole aspect that whole
Of Poe.
it just seemed of Poe and of Finn meeting each other too, because it almost seemed like like Finn was like a newborn child almost, like
Yeah.
like everything was new to him, like and
Yeah.
everything, and he
Yeah.
was like expected trusting, and it
That's-
kind of went a little bit with it with Poe because like Poe had just been like I don't know, like they like he did something to him, so like he's already like I mean if someone came to rescue me and said they're rescuing me and I just went through what I just went through, and I'll be like yeah let's do this, let's go, you know what I mean.
But wouldn't you
And
feel
then-
a little weird that he was like
Yeah,
a
no,
stormtrooper?
I
And like
mean,
this could
not-
be like a trap, and he might be taking me to like Kylo Ren right after this.
But the
Exactly.
alternative is that you
Exactly.
stay in.
After what just happened, like he just got all the information out of me, and like I would follow anybody. Like let's just go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I like that whole. It was like exciting. They got into the thing. It was just like they were getting into it, and they're like, "Whoa, did you see that?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw that." I was like,
Yeah.
because like it just reminded me like of us almost kind of like playing WoW. Like, did
Yeah.
you just see that happen? Yeah, I just saw that. It was fucking awesome. It was like it
Yeah.
was so funny. Like,
But
it
we've
was
played
just so
WoW for
exciting.
like years together. They
I
met
know.
within like 5 minutes.
But I know, but like I still like that whole aspect of the thing.
It
But,
definitely
Yeah.
got my adrenaline run. Like I was with them.
Yeah.
in the
yes,
emotions
I
back
was
then.
with
I
them
like,
too. I was just
yeah.
like,
Don't
yes,
get me
this
wrong.
is
Like
awesome.
I still like I've seen the movie 3 times in theaters.
Oh
Okay.
shit. Okay.
Like
I wanna
I
see it more,
totally
too.
enjoyed the movie. I just like I said, everything was just laid on a little too heavy, and it doesn't have quite the gravitas or like subtlety the original
Yeah.
3 do.
Dude,
I-
BBX is fucking hilarious. I love that
Well-
movie a lot.
Yeah, BB-8. Yeah,
BB-8, sorry. I don't say type.
I was gonna say, who do you guys like better,
Yeah.
him or R2D2?
Well, R2D2.
both. I was worried. I was worried that BB-8 was going to be like the replacement, and
I know,
had
that's
the same
exactly
thing. I was like,
my point.
fuck this little thing, you know. Like I wasn't that pissed about him, but like
Dude,
I was just like, like I don't know if I'm going to like
BB's
him. And he was pretty cool.
All right,
He was-
once
Yeah.
we're gonna go into BB-8 in a second. We're gonna do a two-parter of this.
Yes.
So
That's-
we'll be back in
that's-
just a second.
Okay.
And we're back. So the BB-8's personality was so like, I want to say juicy because I think there was just like so much to love about that guy.
Yeah.
But it also felt so modern. Like it felt so Pixar-esque, where it was this like
Yes.
bright-eyed like just dude.
He has a
kinda
lot more
wanted,
emotion.
like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's a lot more emotion.
But I think he was supposed to feel like a little baby R2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think they did that really well. Like when Finn is talking, he's like, I don't know if I should lie or like, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's the guy. And like, he's kind of like cowering. He's cowering like behind Rey as she's trying to like,
Yeah.
interrogate for the jacket. Like,
Yeah.
You know
And then
what I
he gives
mean?
him
Like-
the thumbs up lighter. That was so cool.
Oh, dude, I was
Oh, yeah.
dying. I was dying. That was so funny.
like yeah, he's just such a. And then like he's holding on. You know what I mean? Like while the
Yeah.
thing's going
Oh,
nuts.
yeah.
like,
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's such a wonderful, and then like his astonishment. You know, you felt without words that he knew about R2D2 and
Yeah.
this legend, and was just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this is him.
The same way Luke is
Yeah,
like a
it's
legend
the
to
same.
them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
R2 is like a legendary droid.
Yeah, and it was so
That's
like
true. I didn't
innocent
think
as a world gets thrown around with a lot of these characters because I think they definitely like start with the innocence of heroes and then the call to action and
Yeah.
the resistance, but eventual like change. But
yeah, I loved how he didn't have to say anything. Like you knew what he was thinking. Like
Yeah.
remember he was like looking. He was like, who?
yeah,
Who?
What?
Who?
Yeah.
He's like
Should I
he's
lie?
going back and forth. Like should I lie? What's going on? Like
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
part. Yep.
Another thing. This is a different segue, but Rey, I think, not only does Luke know who she is. Like, do you guys got that feeling that Luke already knew her
Oh, yeah.
when she
Oh, of
showed
course,
up? on
yeah.
the thing?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so not only does Luke know her, but Han and Leia do, as well as Kylo Ren, because I think R2 was left to trigger when she showed up, because Luke probably knew like that she was gonna like have to be
Oh.
the one to come find him.
Yep.
And so probably set up R2 to like go off when she showed up again to get the final part of the map so she could
Yeah.
get up to him.
I would like
He's
to
been
talk
down
about
for
that for a
years.
minute because I struggle with that concept because there was
Why?
like because it felt so happenstance. This thing was happening, and it was just like, oh, and here's Rey, and that's cool. When yeah, we know about her, and yeah, now we're gonna use her, as opposed to holy shit, this is happening. Let's go get that kid who we left and was like placed purposely for this very reason. It was just like, if Han knew about her, why didn't he like speed up the process of finding the lightsaber and finding like R2? Like it just felt like, oh yeah,
Well,
maybe I'll take you on as a crew member, maybe I won't. I don't know.
Well,
Because maybe that's
That-
part of the ploy. Like you don't want her to know that, because she doesn't know what her history is. She doesn't know what like where she comes from.
Well, there was no
She
triggers.
can't
just, like,
no,
drop
there was
that
no
on her right
triggers
there.
either. Like when she was telling him about her and everything like that, there was nothing like a little like quip like where he was like, "Oh, that's who she is." You know what I mean? Like he just was talking to her regular.
Yeah,
like,
like
so,
when he's like,
I don't think he knew who she was.
I got
though.
that feeling too.
He knows
That's
about
what I'm
Unkar
saying.
Plutt, like the guy that was like had the Millennium Falcon or whatever. Like he knew that was like who might have had the Millennium Falcon at one point. You know, like
Yeah,
he wasn't thrown off when she said like who had it.
Yeah.
To me, I took that as Han Solo being around this universe for a really long time and knowing all the
Yeah.
dudes, and he was like, "Of course, that guy got my guy," because he was looking for it, and he didn't
Right.
know exactly until they told him. He's like, "Oh yeah, dude,
That's
of
how they
course."
turned it on. That's how they turned
Yeah,
it on.
and-
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, you know what I think? So here's my vibe is that I get is that Leia and Han, like that interaction we saw was more of a force connection to it than, you know how like when you meet someone you just have that like vibe. You're like, man, it's like felt like I know you for a long time or that you're family or whatever. I got the feeling that these guys just had this force or family kind of vibe to her. I'm like, man, I just naturally gravitate toward this human as opposed to knowing them or them being the daughter. Because that's the other thing is like if Rey is Han and Leia's daughter, there's a lot that they did wrong as parents. Like let alone like there's one thing
Yeah.
to let Ren do his
I
thing.
feel like
but
it can't be. I feel like it can't
can't
be
be.
Han and Leia's child.
exactly. You're
It has
you're
to be
gonna
Obi's
die as a father without
granddaughter.
telling her you're like
Yeah.
what or Leia like
I hope it's either Obi-Wan's granddaughter or whatever, or she's just a new person that like had force sensitivity that's like powerful.
yeah.
A new
For sure.
family.
And
New
I don't
family.
know. And like honestly, like there's nothing to. There's suggestions, but there's nothing guaranteed that Luke knows her either. Like he definitely, his reaction can be.
I think he knows her. I think he has to.
in a vague way, though, is what I'm saying. Because like when she presented him with it, he's like, "It has happened. Like I knew someone
He
would
knew,
come,
yeah.
and I knew this day would come." But like, there's nothing to concrete say. I knew you. I was waiting for you, and you know now that you're here, let's do this. Because again, why not go and get her? Like it was so. If they knew so much about her in detail, it just seems odd that a lot of these things that happened.
Because they had to wait for an awakening in the Force.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But I think
that's another
Luke
question I
knew
had,
someone.
too.
No, I think it's serious. Like it literally had to wait for that like whatever trigger to happen for her.
That's leaving
like,
a lot to chance.
Snoke, like even comments on it, like with Kylo Ren, he's like I felt an awakening like in the Force, you know, like
That's the other thing I was gonna ask. Who's Snoke?
We'll get
fuck,
that. Well, hold on. We'll
dude,
get that into a
stupid
minute.
ass CG character. Like god damn it. It's,
Yeah, like I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
When I said get to it in a minute, I didn't do that. I didn't.
Yeah,
shut, I didn't mute
shut
it.
him up. You're like, shut up,
Yeah.
shut up, Alan.
Jesus.
Um,
Well, okay, so
Well,
now think about this. When Kylo Ren stopped the blaster shot, has that ever happened before? No
No.
one's ever done that.
no one's ever done that yet. Well,
Yeah.
that was what I was gonna ask though. But like, when that CG
Oh, yeah, that was
character
really cool.
came up, I was like thinking he was
gigantic.
yes.
like I was thinking I was like,
thought it
am I
was-
watching Marvel? I'm like, am I watching Marvel?
Yeah.
Like that because like I thought it was gonna be like, but it turns out he's not really that big though.
Yeah.
He's that was
More
just
than
like
likely, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
a projection, yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
two
But, like- Yeah, go
theories
ahead.
on who Snoke is.
Yeah,
One,
'cause I don't-
it's Darth Vader, which I don't like.
I don't
Um,
think no.
Two, it is, which I personally like, is Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis is the guy who trained Darth Sidious, the Emperor.
Palpatine.
I thought he killed him. Oh yeah, because like there's that giant
Right.
scar within his head.
And that's-
yeah.
And he says that
He
he
says
had
he killed
powers
him.
over death, like
Yes.
to bring people back to life.
Exactly.
That was
Oh,
cool.
that would be a better story.
right. Like they
That
are
would-
alluding to this
Story.
character who can cheat death, and wouldn't it
However-
be great if he did?
I heard that at one of the like Comic-Con or something, like they had the whole staff, like Lawrence Caspian or whatever, the writer of the movie, and somebody asked him like about Darth Plagueis, and he was like he didn't even know who Darth Plagueis was because he never wrote those original or the prequels.
Do you
He
think-
only wrote the original trilogy. Yeah, it could have been misdirection,
Right.
But like at the same time, I feel like yeah, he didn't take part in any of those original three movies. Like I mean,
Yeah.
prequel. Sorry.
Right.
So like he might not like even consider that a thing.
Interesting.
And you know it's Andy Serkis that's playing that guy, right? The guy that does like
Smeagol.
Caesar and all the other shit that's like CG actors.
Yeah.
You said Andy Serkis?
Yeah. They got,
Serkis, like Serkis.
I think
Like the
it would be cool
Yeah.
if it, like I feel like
Ah.
he has to. I feel like he could be a Sith Lord, but also he might not be either. Like
He could just be like this ancient dude.
which would explain.
Yeah.
Well, so kind of explain why Kylo Ren has such wonky training in the first place, but they kind of allude to that he hasn't been fully trained anyway.
Right.
And so I thought that was interesting to just.
It's just so much backstory because like the thing is like if he was training with Luke, how did that guy, what's the guy's name again? I always
Snoke?
forgot. Snoke get to him in the first place.
Dumb name too.
Especially if they're on
Yeah.
on a deserted planet or something and they're training or whatever like that. I don't know if it was deserted in the
Well,
first
I
place.
mean,
But
you can force whisper. I feel like that
I
happens
know,
all
but
the
that's
time.
but like I don't know, but I'm just like wondering like what set him off. Like I know it's gonna get to
Oh, yeah.
in the later
what do you
movies
mean?
and everything.
What set
like,
Ren
Set
dark
yeah,
side?
ran off like to the dark side.
To the dark side? Oh yeah. Well, we'll see.
Also, another thing that I don't like that I heard just from my boss that I was when I was at work is that they're not just making an episode like 7, 8, 9. They're actually
Right.
making spin-offs to like
Yes.
where like it shows other people in the galaxy
Yep.
Yeah.
and like their backstory before they go.
Yes.
So like there's gonna be more movies. So I'm kind of like concerned a little bit like how that's gonna
Right.
tie into episode
Well,
8, 9.
It's not going to.
No, the next.
It's not
the
going
next,
to.
The
So it's like
first
completely
spin-off
different
movie.
movies.
The first spin-off movie is about the pilots that stole the plans for the original Death Star.
Which has been on everybody's mind, right? Like
So
how
like
the hell-
in episode 4, they say like we had spies that had to get the plans for the Death Star, so now we know it's like one structural weakness. Like that's in the episode 4.
So it's gonna
So
be
this-
spin-off like episode 4, not
Yeah, so
episode
this
7,
movie
right?
is just going to be like part of the Star Wars universe, but not necessarily related at all to 7, 8, and 9.
Do you think it's gonna
Well-
do as good though?
It has a really good cast as far as I've seen so far. I mean, it comes out next year in winter, I think.
Star Wars movie every year.
And
Well,
then in the summer after that is when episode 8 comes out.
What? So we had to wait 2 years?
For
Yeah,
episode
that's-
8, yeah.
That's every movie. That's every.
A year and a half,
every-
actually.
Nuh-uh. The
Yeah.
Hobbit,
Well-
they had it released every year. Harry Potter
No,
had it
it
released
was-
every year.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Harry Potter was
Star
released
Wars
every
is
year.
2
No, it was
years.
not. Harry Potter was not every year. The last two were because they filmed them back to back.
Ugh,
Huh. Well,
I'm
well,
pretty mad then.
I have one question
2
here.
years.
And the one thing that kind of, I'm not saying like upset me, but every time they would go to Snoke, it was Kylo Ren and that commander dude. Like, and I kept thinking of them almost like on the same page. I'm like, but Kylo Ren should have been like the ultimate guy. Why would
Yeah,
they
well,
go
that's
Well,
the
with
he's
the
like a
commander?
kid though. Like,
Yeah,
they're
you
both
see him
young.
throw a temper tantrum. He threw like
Yeah.
a temper tantrum. Like,
Yeah,
he just,
exactly.
Please, like, just destroy that terminal. And he's like, anything
Kylo Ren
else?
is just like trying so hard to be like this cool, badass, like intimidating character that Vader was. But I think General Hux, the other guy,
Yeah,
like
General
knows
Hux.
that he's just like kind of like a chump. Also, he's just like trying so hard. He's like he
Yeah.
almost probably
He could-
like makes fun of him.
Yeah.
You
you know?
could kill him though in a
Yeah,
second.
but why
Yeah,
did they go up to Snoke like together like as peers instead of like?
But like
because-
Vader could have killed all of his generals, and he did kill a few of them, but he didn't kill like all of them. Like
Like the
General-
one who like said that he was like his puny force thing, and you remember he was killing him, and then he was like,
chokes him, yeah.
and then
Yeah,
the one
one
guy
guy's
told
like,
him to stop.
Yeah,
And
and
he
he
did.
does.
I was like,
Yeah.
what? He did. Like, because I remember I watched it again and I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm like, why did he
Exactly.
stop? Like, that's not his style.
But
Like,
that's
he
just
doesn't
it.
take
Is
orders.
that I mean, even now more than ever, they are weakened, right? The Empire is weakened, so you need any competent people. Like the Husk he's got a whole army to run, and he proved his worth in that speech. Like he can do things, he can execute against things. So if Ren were to kill him, he would have to answer to Snoke, and I don't think Snoke necessarily wants Husk gone. Like there's no real predecessor yet set up, so it's not like you could just like they're disposable. Like every guy counts at this point because they need all the help they can get to get back
That's true.
to, you know what I mean, the Empire.
I just thought it was interesting though that they were going and addressing Snoke the whole time, like almost as peers. When I'm sitting there trying to think of this guy as the ultimate, you know,
Right.
ahead of all of them. So that was the one thing I just kept looking back at, like, why?
I mean, even
So-
Vader wasn't the ultimate; it was the Empire.
No.
Emperor.
Yeah,
Right,
Emperor.
of course.
And Clay, you said that there's been no redemption story, but Vader was a redemption story because he redeemed himself at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yes, okay, but no redemption
Which-
story in the fact that we get to see the dark guy turn, and then we get a whole movie of that guy on the good guy's team.
Yeah,
So I was really actually hoping.
Do you guys think that'll happen?
I hope so. Yeah, I kind of want Kylo Ren in the next movie to come to the light side, and then the third movie is about them. I have a theory that the next movie is going to be Rey at the Jedi temples, and as in parallel, Ren will be at the Sith temples. And the Sith temples have tombs of all the major Sith lords. And if they want to take a page from the expanded universe, they can resurrect Exar Kun, who was one of the most powerful Sith lords way back in the Old Republic days. and he
Yeah.
could potentially rise as the newer threat. Kylo Ren redeems himself, and the third movie is about them taking out Snoke and maybe another Sith Lord or something like that. I don't know, but like seeing, I don't know.
General
Some
Hux
people-
turns into the Sith Lord.
No.
Yeah, no, I've considered that too because I know they're getting Benicio del Toro to play a bad guy,
Right.
or supposedly rumored to play a bad guy in 8.
Right.
And that's kind of what I had a similar theory that he would turn back in 8 and then be on the good side. But do you think that having killed Han was like his way to like commit himself 100% to the dark side?
Honestly, like the way that was executed, it's so hard for me to believe that he would be redeemed.
Yeah,
Right.
Like
there's
the
no
way he was so unapologetic. Like they didn't even fight, and he was forced to do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was just slimy
He wanted to just
about
like
it.
finally
Not
do
only
it.
that, but
Yeah.
not only that, but think of like other people's aspect. Like I mean, I don't even think that even if you made him coming back, like, could you even forgive him? Like, you're seeing
Right.
this guy kill Han, and you're like,
Unapologetically.
right, and then you're thinking like, how you can't come back from that, really? Like, even if they wanted to flip the story, you really can't come back from that because like you wouldn't be forgiving
The
for
only
that
way,
person.
Right.
like you have to.
Right, Vader, it worked because he died. Like you're just like, dude,
Right.
this guy like slaughtered like all these kids, like killed
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these Jedi, like you know.
And he kind of redeemed himself, but he died though.
he redeemed himself, so it's like you like can give him peace because he's gonna die.
I think for that story to work out, I think that's what's probably going to happen. Like Clay, like you said, that he's going to come back to the light side. They're going to face the dark side. He's going to do something to like sacrifice himself for what's her name,
Possibly. Yeah.
Rey,
Possibly.
Right.
See it.
and then she's going to die that way.
I would hate that. I would actually like Ren to stick around. And you know
Yeah,
what?
I
What a
would rather
great
just him be bad guy for the rest of the movie.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
we've seen that, and I don't want to.
No, we haven't.
I mean, Vader.
The Emperor,
Vader,
but that's it.
yeah.
The Vader was an evil.
But he's
dude.
still got redemption. Like they start like hinting
I
at it all the entire time in Return of the Jedi that he's like got some good in him still. Like
Yeah.
they say it
Yeah.
time and time again. He's like, there's still good in him.
Oh,
There's still
but
good
That's the
in him.
same. That's the
It's
same thing with Ren. Yeah,
But that's
the
what I'm
same
saying.
thing's
That's
so
why I
different.
don't want him
Oh,
to
okay.
come
You
back.
want-
Like I just want him
Yeah.
to be like
Gone.
complete.
I guess I believe that there's a bigger difference in feeling in a story arc if he does get redeemed way earlier and has a whole movie dedicated to him on the good side.
And that's
No.
another thing I was
I don't
going to
think
ask
so.
too was
That's why Vegeta's so cool, because he was such a fucking dick, and then he's like on the team with the good guys. He's
Yeah,
this like
but-
rebellious dude, and you're like, he's badass.
that's the other question I was going to ask too was like you know the part where he's like you see Darth Vader's helmet, right, and he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
asking himself, and he was like, I hope I can make you proud, grandfather. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, like
Yeah.
that. But like, I mean, what kind of story did he get? Because like at the end, like if he knew, like if he was training with Luke, Luke would tell him like he was dark and all this other stuff, but then he was good at the end. You know, he saved me, blah blah blah. This
No,
and
but
that.
maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't get that information to him.
Oh, okay.
We don't know.
So maybe I'm thinking, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I don't- yeah. So you're right. I don't know.
Now,
Maybe
two-
Snoke said something differently.
Now, two characters I would like to kind of not see come back, but like maybe like an offspring of them is one Yoda. Would be cool to see like a little.
He's dead.
Like
yeah, he's dead.
no, not Yoda, but like maybe his
similar
kid
character?
Or, yeah,
No,
Jar
something
Jar
like.
Binks.
No,
Jar
Jar
Jar.
Jar Binks should be in
No,
too, right?
Fuck that.
Yeah, Darth Jar Jar.
Darth-
You need to introduce new and original characters for this universe to feel like it's a fucking universe. You can't just keep having the
Right.
same
Yeah.
people.
But I don't know. Yoda was one of my favorite characters
I think
of all Star Wars.
Maz Kanata, the girl,
She was
the like
interesting.
the alien thing. I think she was kind of like a new Yoda-ish character,
Okay.
like wise and like force sensitive.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
pretty cool, yeah.
Except
No,
I
no.
thought CG on her was garbage too.
Yeah,
All the CG characters were stupid. I hated the fucking roly tentacle monsters.
Yeah.
They're bad.
One thing I
that's
think
weird.
that was a little bit too early was him taking it off his fucking helmet. Like,
Why?
it
No,
was
that's
too early.
it had to. No, that was the point.
Yeah.
It's like you think he's this really badass dude that's like Vader, like incarnate 2.0,
No, he's
but you
like
realize
this-
that he's just trying super hard
Yeah.
to like look like a scary badass guy.
Yeah,
Like, but he's not. He's just like
He's
a kid.
not. He's a little kid.
yeah.
That's what I was like when he took it off. I'm like, dude, he doesn't look so badass anymore. Like,
They-
at all.
They focused so heavily on that helmet being so heavy. Why was that?
Oh.
Every
Because I
time he
think
took his
because-
helmet off, it
because
would just
literally-
drop like a goddamn
I
anvil.
think it was because to show that like it's not even like a like comfortable thing to wear. Like he's literally putting on like this burden to like have the mantle of Darth Vader.
Right,
You know?
right.
Like
okay.
it's not even like he's trying so hard to be Darth Vader. He's even putting up with this fucking massive ass helmet. You know?
That makes a lot of sense metaphorically.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Almost-
because he was trying to train for like he's constantly using the Force to keep it up, and so that's why he's so strong. Like it's part of his training. You know, like it's like the Cairo chamber or whatever, or like where you know what I mean, where they're like doing like 10,000 times. Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z, where he has all the weighted clothes
Yeah,
on. and he
yeah.
sticks it
Oh
up.
yeah.
So I thought like when he takes it off, he's just even
Well,
stronger.
now after Rey injured his face, I think he has a reason to like wear it.
Right now,
Yeah.
right now it's
Good
become
reason.
right.
Yeah. And one thing I was going to say back about Kylo Ren being evil is we've never seen a story arc where he's like 100% committed to evil. Like at the very end of Revenge of the Sith, we get Anakin like turning to the dark side for like whatever 20 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
But like we've never seen kind of like what the rites of passage are for becoming an evil character, like when you're young or whatever. Like start off
Right.
like Kylo Ren, so we'll get to see him kind of maybe complete his training as like an evil guy or something.
Yeah,
and, like,
I know.
see
I have a lot
that
of
Sith side.
I know I have a lot of questions, but here's another one too. Like I know it's like the beauty of movies and everything like that, and how things seem so much shorter than they are. But does anyone really know how long Luke trained with Yoda? Because it only seemed like it was
Not
like a
long at
month.
all. I don't think very long.
It only seemed like it was a month, maybe not even long that long.
Which made sense. Darth Vader
Well,
hasn't
because-
even used really the Force in a long ass time, so they were
Right.
both really rusty. They were on even playing field.
Well, that's the thing I was saying too. Was like I get the sense like in the very first ones that like Jedi's trained for years and years,
Since
even
birth,
since
basically.
birth. You know what I mean? Like, but then you got Luke, who seemed like he trained a little bit, and like now he's going off in the universe like 30 years later, and like over that span of 30 years, he's training other people. Like how much did he really know about the Force? And like that's why I'm kind of like getting like I thought maybe that's why Kylo Ren's the way he is, or like you were saying that Snoke, maybe he didn't, or Snoke, whatever, Snoke didn't really know that much either, and was like training him differently too.
I think-
Like that's what I'm.
No, I think that it's also almost like, what's it, like biological based on, or genetic based on your lineage. Like the same way people think Rey might be naturally powerful, like Anakin and Luke were both like naturally powerful because he was his son. So maybe like you would develop those powers over time anyway. And I'm sure like he can still go to like those Jedi temples and find that knowledge to learn how to become more powerful Jedi as well.
Yeah.
It's like they specifically say that he went to the Jedi temples to like find that or seek the knowledge or whatever.
And Ian, you talked about seeing Yoda because he was your favorite. He's dead, but doesn't mean he makes a ghost appearance,
Yeah.
right?
No,
It's
yeah.
a little blue
Would you like
hologram
that
ghost.
though?
Yeah, I mean, if it adds to the
Yeah.
reasoning,
That's pretty
as to-
established thing. As long as they don't fucking show Hayden Christensen's Anakin
Yeah.
like pop out of nowhere for no
Yeah, that
reason.
makes
then
no
I'll be
sense.
fine.
Yeah.
But
It'd be pretty cool to see like him relay a message or something to be like brought back in.
to
But
help Luke's training further.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you see that in a lot of things with Star Wars. You know, people coming back and some kind of force or something. So that would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
So what
And
would you
another
guys
thing-
like to see? Oh, sorry.
Well, I was thinking, about Luke. One thing that they allude to in Return of the Jedi is not only is he like a light side, but he's a little bit more gray area for a Jedi because he force chokes, which is a dark side power on
Right.
the guards when he comes to Jabba's palace.
Oh, wow.
When he walks in, he just force chokes both of them and like kills them.
Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I didn't
so,
know
like,
that.
Yeah,
Well, there
so I
is a
think-
story in the expanded universe where Luke goes to the dark side.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, maybe
Oh, I didn't know that.
some of that knowledge that he knew like was taught by accident or like or something to these students of his, and that's why they like saw this power and they were like, wow, maybe we should go to the dark side. Like that seems really cool.
What if
Yeah.
Luke did go to the dark side?
Yeah, what if Luke did go to the dark side? Yeah, who knows? And that's why he like went into exile because he didn't want to see like face
Yep.
Han and Leia because he's like, oh shit, like I just turned your son into like
What
a
if
mass murderer.
What if Kylo Ren was just following Luke's
Yeah.
orders?
The Knights of Ren? I want to know about those guys.
Yeah.
They talked
And
about.
Luke is actually the big ultimate bad guy. At the
No,
end.
that I wouldn't.
No, I think he's redeemed himself, but like I think he's just done some shit that he's not proud of.
Yeah.
And Kylo
Yeah,
Ren
'cause
has
I was like-
turned good
Yeah.
to fight Luke.
Because like I hope there's like a backstory like that because like I don't like it just sounds so kind of like I wouldn't say cliche, but like, like, oh yeah, I just, my sister and my best friend or whatever, I let him down by like letting their son like become a mass murderer. I'm just gonna go into exile and hiding because I blame myself. It just doesn't sound
Well, maybe
like,
not. I mean, obviously, if they're the writers, they can make it a little bit more like gratifying than that. But
okay, what would you
essentially,
got? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that could be part of the problem. Like he taught them something they shouldn't have been taught, or like they learned something from him that they shouldn't have learned, and that's the reason they were betrayed.
Yeah.
What would you guys like to see in this next movie?
Her
What's
actually-
backstory?
New
Like,
stuff.
what backstory? Because I want to see a backstory. I want to know. I have so many questions. Like, the biggest backstory I want in this next one is how Kylo Ren became what he is now. That's what I want to know.
I just want the three main characters. I want to know more about Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren. That's
Yeah.
the ones I care most about. I don't care about anybody other character.
What about Finn? Like Finn does not interest me. Like he's a stormtrooper and he left that past. Like I
See,
have no interest
I
in.
thought Finn was going to be the new Han. I thought Finn was.
Yeah.
The new Han. I didn't know. I didn't know
I'm curious about him because I don't. They
Supposed
don't
he's too good.
yeah,
Like,
Finn doesn't have
can
like
go either
a
way.
like an
He's just like a
established
baby. Like,
area
I'm-
in anything. Like Finn's
Yeah.
not like a Han. He's not a Luke. He's not
Right.
anything. Like we don't know what he is. So that's why I want to know more about him. And like
Yeah.
like there's like little like breadcrumbs that he might be force sensitive too, so I want
Right.
to see if they develop that because like when they're doing the Millennium Falcon chase on Jakku and like they she's like I've never flown this well, he's like I've never shot, like I've never did this, whatever, like they're
It's
both
so
gonna
cool.
have
I like that.
like that was
Yeah.
like very like forcey, like oh the force was like with them when they were doing that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
How
Yeah.
badass was that when she fucking?
I
shot
love
up
that.
and then she just went
that
down.
was
I
my
just,
favorite
dude,
sequence,
I was like,
like,
what
the
the
whole
fuck?
That was
so
really well
cool.
done.
Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
is probably like the coolest part, I think. in the
Yeah,
whole-
easily.
That was dope.
Oh, also, I fucking loved the setting of that final battle in the winter, in the forest. Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's
that was
pretty cool.
beautiful.
That was pretty cool. Yeah,
And
like,
the lighting
that was-
of the lightsabers, just whew,
That's what I love too. Like, how like in the other ones, like they said they foresee things. Like, oh, I foresee something. Blah blah blah. You actually see what she foresees,
yeah.
and I like that. I like that.
Foreshadows this terror, this horror.
Right, and then she didn't want any part of it. Like, so I'm sitting there thinking, like, that is such a cool thing to bring to this. You actually see what they see, and like the fear. Like how cool would that have been? Like in like I don't know, I think it was episode 2 or episode 3, when like they sense something. You actually got to see what they sensed before it even happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Some people think that those memories she has, or the visions she sees when she touches the lightsaber, some of them are like foreseeing things in the future, but some of them are memories as well.
Yeah,
Like I think it's half and half maybe.
yeah.
Like some of the stuff that you see in there has already happened, and then some of it is stuff that will happen.
see, I gotta watch it again, man. Like,
Yeah, I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, no, like
probably missed a lot of
it
stuff.
totally helped watching it 2 more times since
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
time.
Look for the little Poe figure in Rey's
I
hut.
will look
I
for
will
that.
now, yeah.
I
And-
like
I wonder if that's just like a Easter egg they just put it in or whatever though.
I got a quick question for you
Maybe.
guys, okay? If you get one choice of one force power, what would it be? Just one. That's it. You get nothing else. You just get one power.
One
Wait,
force
okay,
power.
so
It could be light or dark. Doesn't matter.
One force power. So certain force powers are
Okay.
throwing a lightsaber and bringing it back. Force jumping.
I've never seen that in the movie.
Well, it's in a game. Force
no,
jump.
it's in episode 5.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Darth
yeah.
Vader throws his lightsaber at Luke when he's up on the rafters, and then it comes back to him.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, he
totally.
does?
Yep.
Oh, it does. Oh, yeah.
And
'Cause it was
Sidious,
kind of weird.
Sidious
though,
does
looking.
it too. He throws at Yoda. And,
Yeah.
like he throws
Yeah.
and like sticks in some people when he grabs it. There's force choke naturally. There's lightning.
the
There
lightning.
is
Force push.
Force push.
But
there's
does force push
pull.
include
Stop.
pulling? Or
No,
is
that
it
would
both?
be something different. Right?
Yeah,
Ah.
the
push and
stop,
pull.
you get the stop too. So.
Oh yeah, force stop.
I think force.
Is that what it is? Is that what he's just stopping, or is it literally just like a force push that he's like maintaining on something?
I think he's pushing it. I mean, he's keeping something somewhere, right? So it's a push
Yeah.
and pull.
Yeah.
It's like stopping something.
Then when he lets it go, it just goes forward. So
That's
I mean,
true.
if you,
Yeah.
You
So
know,
he's
it's a
force
stop.
holding.
yeah, force hold, yeah.
There's mind trick, right?
Ooh,
Where you-
Jedi mind trick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jedi mind tricks.
Ooh.
But it only works on the weak-minded, though.
Sure.
It only works on the weak minded.
It only works on the weak-minded.
What else is there? Oh man,
Force
I-
speed.
there's a
Yeah.
force like bubble where you can like protect yourself from stuff.
That'd be pretty cool.
That I've seen. Yeah, Force
Force
Speed.
Crush.
Force Crush.
Force Speed. That's just in a video game then, right?
Yeah, where you run really
No,
fast.
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon use it in Episode 1. They
Oh,
run
yeah.
really fast down the
Yeah.
down the corridor versus the droids in the very beginning of the movie.
That's right.
Fun.
Alan
They do?
did. Nice.
I've seen
I'm
him
still
jump
thinking
really
Force
high.
Stroke.
And then
I'm still thinking
there's
Force
Force Vision, where you can see in the future. And then there's Force Meditation, where there's Jedi that just meditate during a battle, and they just reach the minds of the army, and they synchronize it. They help synchronize people so that they can be the most efficient they can. So there's like Force meditators that are like designed specifically to sit there and help the flow of the battle go.
What was that in?
It was in a video game.
Video game.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm sorry, I've never heard of those before, but like that's cool. I'd like to see that. That's pretty
Dude,
badass.
right? Like a person meditate, which Clone Wars could have been the perfect example.
Yeah, that
Sounds
would have been a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So then which one out of those?
What do you choose? Come on,
Yeah.
Clay. You just list them all. What's yours?
I always really liked Force Push, I think.
Yeah.
Force Push was just like an awesome. In the video game, Jedi Academy, I always did like wall run. I always did the wall run, and then I had the choke and push. Those were my three. Because what you would do is you would battle somebody on like a cliff where if they fell off, they would die. And so they would come, I'd choke them, and then I'd push them off, and then they would die. And so I'd be like choking and pushing, and so that was really fun.
I think I would either pick Force Pull or Jedi Mind Trick.
Yeah. But pull feels like Force Push, you're almost like throwing Hadoukens at people.
Yeah, but Force Pull is like useful every day.
Is
Yeah.
it?
I would
Like,
pick.
oh, I need the remote. Force Pull.
Oh, you're right, because like, yeah, that's right.
I would pick like the stopping of like the laser thing.
So
Yeah?
Force Stop.
Force stop. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that.
That was
That was
cool.
so
I thought
badass
that
because
was-
like it was just standing there, and then all of a sudden he just leaves. I was like, doosh, like
Yeah, that
I
was
like,
cool.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we've never seen that in any incarnation. Which
No,
is really
I
Where
cool.
they
thought
stop
that
an
was
actual
cool.
blaster fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
I
that
was just
happened,
seeing
when
it,
that
like,
happened,
you're
I turned
like,
to Amber and I
whoa.
was like, they could do that.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
What do you mean they people?
I was like, well, I mean, just like the Sith or like I don't know if that's
get
a
it.
Sith power or Jedi. I was just like, I don't know, man.
I
was
don't
just
know.
crazy.
And that's
Yeah.
what really made him set up as like a really powerful person because you never seen that
Yeah.
before either. You're
Yeah,
like,
you're
whoa,
like,
is this guy
ooh.
like crazy powerful? And then you're like, oh, he's a kid that's like throws temper tantrums.
Yes.
Yeah, which was
Dude, I
so
was
much
laughing on that
like
part.
well, it was so much more well executed than Anakin's tantrums.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so much more well done.
Oh,
in
I
terms
hated
of
that.
Yeah.
He's like, you underestimate my power. Like, fucking dumbass.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Anakin Skywalker, ladies and gentlemen.
That's pretty much though.
Sound-
It is kind of what it
Get to
sounded
the
like. Yeah.
ship.
It's like, in my eyes, the Jedi are the wrong ones, or something like if I already said
Jedi
like
are evil.
the Jedi are evil. Like I'm like, oh my god, just kill this guy, please, just kill
fucking
this guy.
slices that off.
It's like I know what you're talking about now, Clay. After like doing the whole machete thing and going back, like I'm like, these are fucking horrible. Like
Yeah,
these are
that's
so
right.
bad.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I was so like overlaid because like I like the whole graphics and everything, but once you got really into the depth of the story, I'm just
Yeah.
like, this sucks.
The
man.
acting too.
Yeah, that guy was like,
Dialogue.
Obi-Wan was wasted because he was like the best actor in the originals.
Oh, I know.
Him and
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, like they would have been if they had like centered the story. Clay, did you get a chance to watch those
I was
things?
just gonna bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
oh, so I was gonna ask you too. By the way, I'm sorry. Can I just ask this question
Yeah.
one time?
Yeah.
So, the one guy fucking that Yoda went against and did that big fight scene. What was his name again?
Darth Sidious.
Darth Sidious. No,
Yeah.
Darth Sidious.
The Emperor.
Yeah.
Not the Emperor. The other guy.
Oh,
Remember-
Count
wait.
Dooku.
Oh, General
Count
Grievous.
No,
Oh,
Count
Count
Dooku.
Dooku.
Count Dooku. Okay. Was he basically a good guy? You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not.
Yeah.
He was kind of like a good guy who was sympathetic with the resistance people in, or like the Trade Federation, because he saw the evil that was happening in the
Emperor.
Empire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Which he, because like what I was getting, because he said if he's like you can join me, Obi-Wan. He's like because what's his name? His master,
Yeah,
Qui-Gon.
Liam
Darth
Nielsen.
Palpatine.
He's like would have been
Oh.
with me.
Oh,
Would've
yeah,
been with
yeah,
me.
yeah,
And
Qui-Gon.
I was like, you're fucking right. I'm like, so wait, is he a good guy? Because I'm thinking he's a good guy. He's not
He
a bad
kind of
guy
is, but
because
he is still.
he was
Yeah.
trying to go against. He was
He
trying
is
to go
still the-
against what's his name?
Yeah, he's still the like apprentice of Darth Sidious, though. Because
He is,
remember,
but-
he was defending him, like, or whatever, or like fighting in front of him.
But that was the thing too. Like, was he trying to like be on both sides? Because like it almost
Yeah.
seemed like he was trying to like.
I think you're right.
Because he's like, if you knew who you were working for, really,
Yeah.
he's like, you would be on my side about this.
I think
But the
you're
thing
totally
was,
right.
I never really got that story because like, was that the whole plan all along, or like was he like, that's what I was trying to get. Like,
I think the Emperor was manipulating him to like say he's like helping like the bad guys, but also Count Dooku was like kind of playing his own battle, like trying to like get away from the Emperor and everything, like playing his side and also the Jedi side.
right.
And then,
so that's
and
what
then the
I was-
Emperor betrayed him when he had Anakin kill him because he
Kill
had
him.
plans for Anakin to become his apprentice.
Right. Because I was like thinking, I was like, because
I think he was definitely in that gray
Right.
area. Like Count Dooku
Yeah.
was definitely kind of like playing both sides
be,
and like
yeah,
doing
he
his own
was-
thing. Yeah, he was definitely more like a Qui-Gon Jinn character who was a little bit more rebellious and stuff.
Right.
And
So I was.
there's videos that you should watch that Alan sent me, and he's a guy that took a chance at like depicting his version of the prequels and how he can improve the theming and the story arcs of characters. And it's really interesting because the story arc becomes about Obi-Wan Kenobi and less about Anakin's like turn to the dark side, although that's a very big role. And Count Dooku's character changes to more of a very like it's very clear that he's being manipulated and forced into working with the Emperor. And he's just like, dude, he's like, I'm so glad you're here. Like,
Yeah.
I can't tell anybody because I don't know how deep this goes, but there's like it's a fucking cesspool.
And the Emperor's like,
in the
"Oh yes, tell me more." Like,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, and so it's
I just
wild.
think they could have cut like a good, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes out of that movie, the second one.
There's people who have done like full cuts to cut down all 3 movies into like one movie,
yes,
Really?
and it's like a little bit more cohesive. So,
and it works pretty
Oh.
well.
I gotta watch that one. That's pretty cool.
but I'll send you guys the links. It's called "What If Episode 1, What If Episode 2, What If Episode 3 Were Good." And it's
Yeah.
basically like each video is like 10 to 20 minutes, and it's like a guy breaking down like if they had restructured the story and like changed the focus of characters, like how much better the story would have flowed than what we actually got.
Well, that's
Dark-
what I'm wondering. Like, how can we figure out a better story than some of these freaking directors? Like, you know what I mean?
Well-
Like, that's so weird. Like, if you think about it, like,
George Lucas only directed Star Wars 4 and then all the prequels.
I'm just wondering,
So-
like, who sits there and looks at these movies and like, actually, well, this is pretty good.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing is apparently he had like a lot of yes men around him making these movies because he's like the legend that made Star Wars. So when he made all the prequels, nobody was really telling him, this is not really a good idea, George," because it's like his fucking story and his movies and everything.
Yeah.
So he has the ideas there, and like the universe building and like world building that he does is like amazing, but his sense of like story and everything is really bad. Like you can see that the prequels were made like with idea to be more for kids. Like that's why there's all like poop jokes and like all like that kind of stuff and like
Jar Jar
all the
Binks.
toys and everything. Yeah. So I think that's a big part.
It's interesting because the phenomenon of Star Wars was unknown at the time when it first came out, and it evolved to this kids thing. But I'm pretty sure when it first came out, it was very like a specific sci-fi audience, which was
Oh,
very
of course.
niche at the time. But when it came out, it just blew people away, and it became this mass audience thing. And I think the momentum of the first movie, keeping a lot of the things that made it powerful, kept that theme going. But once, you talk about, what is it, 20 years after that? 10 years? No, yeah, 20 years. They're now going to make a prequel to it, and things have changed drastically. Kids are buying Star Wars things left and right, and costumes, and it's like,
Star
well, this is our
Legos
audience.
and-
Yeah, like,
There's everything out there now.
yeah, so
You
now we
know,
got Jar
and-
Jar Binks, and now you got...
Screw Jar Jar Binks. Worst character ever
So-
created.
But basically, what I'm getting from this though is based on this first movie, you guys think that the next couple movies are going to be just as good or great, or
I hope.
I think the next one will be the best one, personally, but
Because of the director.
because the director.
Yeah.
Looper
I just don't know
is-
what else has he directed.
Looper.
Because I don't really know.
Looper.
Looper, that's it.
That was actually a
I've
good
never
movie,
seen
and
that.
I
Never seen
enjoyed
it.
that
Really
movie.
great time travel movie.
It's
Yeah.
a time
Yeah,
travel
time
movie. Okay,
Yeah.
I got
Bruce
it.
Willis, man.
Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I'll have to watch that because I didn't even know because I thought I was like I don't really like Bruce Willis.
What?
Or-
But-
Bruce Willis is awesome. Get out
To-
of here.
to
Okay,
be
you
honest-
kicked off
Bruce
the
Willis.
podcast.
Die hard hate. Anyway,
I mean,
guys,
Die Hard, but
any other Star Wars questions before we wrap things up here?
I probably do, but I
We'll
can't
do one
think of
more.
it. I know, but I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I had some kind of stupid question. I was just throwing this little
Very
tidbit
fun
there.
kill. Yeah.
At the end where it shows Luke
Chewie.
and it shows his fucking hand that's metal. I couldn't help but think
Oh.
of like Terminator. I was like they're in the future. I was like, didn't he have skin on that hand before? Like I could have sworn he had skin on the hand
He did, yeah, he did at one point. Yeah.
at one point, and then like now it's just completely metal. I'm like, you couldn't have just like fixed that. I'm sitting there thinking, but I don't know.
Dude, he's
Maybe
a
it's supposed to make it
hermit.
look.
He's
the
the
whole-
Yoda / Obi-Wan now.
He's not a Yoda though. That's the thing. He trained for a month.
Well,
That's
but
the whole
he's
thing that
now
I hate
had
about
a
that.
But he's
light
trained for 30 years
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah.
But trained on what? He has no. I mean, he
The
knows a
Jedi
couple
temples,
things.
there's logs and everything. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
there
so
has
there
to
is
be
logs.
information.
Oh, because he
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
there has to be.
Leia said he was going to search for the original records. Yeah, I remember
Right.
that now. Okay, cool. Never mind then. So he keeps logs. Okay, so that makes sense. I like that. I like that part. Okay, my bad.
I think the second one would be good, but they really do need to learn their lessons from the original, the original.
Prequels.
Jesus Christ, the Force Awakens. Like they need to learn the lessons of what didn't work and what people don't want to see again from Episode 7.
I mean, I guess we can't really be too surprised because J.J. Abrams, that's what he does. He does like fan service and like it appeals to as many people as possible, like safe, like action, sci-fi movies. Like that's what he does.
Which it was safe too, because
Which it was, yeah, exactly.
Movie.
Like,
So
that's the whole
safe,
thing.
and I thought, with as much problems as I have with it, I think it was absolutely the right direction to go. You have to establish the fact that it's safe, it's back, and now that
Yeah.
people are back on board, you can start going in a different direction.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Well, guys, that's been another episode of the Everything and Nothing show. We're really glad that you had a chance to be with us here this week. I hope you enjoyed all the topics. Each topic is going to be on our YouTube channel. Don't
Tell
forget.
us your Star Wars fan theories.
Yeah, we would love to hear all your theories on Star Wars fans. If we've screwed anything up, which I'm sure we did, we'd love to hear like anything that we
Multiple
missed.
times.
Multiple times, of course. And if you're liking what you're hearing and liking what you're seeing, make sure to head over to our YouTube channel or our patreon.com/Maelstrom Gamers website and donate a couple bucks, as little as $1. It will be super helpful. And then there's other free ways to support us with our Facebook channel, with our Facebook page, with our Twitter account, and our Instagram account. Check those out. We're streaming and sharing. We're playing lots of League of Legends. We're getting drunk and playing them. It's fun. You can join us. We were playing with a couple of our subscribers earlier this week, and that was really fun to kind of meet some of the people that are watching our league stuff and getting to know them and playing with them. They kicked our ass because as much as we love League of Legends and we stream them, we are not the best. We're not the worst, but we are entertaining,
Awesome.
and
Stellar.
awesome. Interstellar. Okay, those are different words.
Interstellar. That's pretty good.
So, guys, it's been an honor to entertain you. Till next week, peace. Take care.
Yeah.